Good morning. There comes a time in your life when you have to stop playing small. When you have to stop shrinking to fit into places you've outgrown. When the comfort zone becomes a cage and God starts stirring something deep inside of you saying, you were made for more. Just the starting line. You see, the problem isn't the mountain in front of you. The real challenge is the mindset within you. Your fear is lying to you. Your doubt is robbing you. Your doubt is robbing you, and your past is trying to predict your future. But the devil is a liar. You've been equipped, empowered, and anointed to rise. But you can't rise until you break the ceiling. You can't grow until you outstretch the boundaries of what you thought was possible. It's not about strength, it's about surrender. Not about perfection, it's about progression. Progression. Limits are not walls, they are doors waiting to be pushed open. The problem is, too many of us see the boundary and stop. We see the line and assume it's permanent. But what if the line was never meant to hold you back? Only to show you where to begin pushing. When a runner hits the edge of their stamina, they don't quit. They press through the burn because they know that breakthrough lives on the other side of pain. When a seed pushes through the soil, it doesn't ask for permission. It breaks through the dirt because what's inside it refuses to stay hidden. The same goes for you. You weren't created to live in the confines of fear, doubt, or past failures. That limit you're facing right now. It's not your prison. It's your proving ground. That pressure you feel, it's not punishment. It's preparation. If you keep accepting limits as truth, you'll never taste what it's like to walk in power. Because the moment you dare to challenge what's a too hard, a too far, or too late, you'll discover it was never truth. It was just tradition. It was never your capacity. It was just your comfort. And once you break through one barrier, you'll start seeing limits for what they really are. Suggestions, not sentences. The real battlefield is not out there. It's in here. The greatest challenge is not the mountain you're climbing, it's the voice in your head telling you, you can't. It's not the closed doors, the lack of resources, or the people who walked away. It's the internal dialogue that whispers defeat before you've even tried. Circumstances can be tough, but a limited mindset will turn a challenge into a chain. And you can have all the talent, all the potential, all the opportunities in the world, but if your mind is locked up, your life will be too. There are people with less than you doing more than you, because they refuse to let their mindset keep them small. They chose to believe in what was possible, even when the facts said otherwise. They pushed past fear, past insecurity, past the illusion that where they are is all they'll ever be. And that's the key. Your reality is shaped by what you believe. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stop trying. If you believe you're not worthy, you'll reject open doors. If you believe you've peaked, you'll stop growing. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a renewed mind. A mind that says, I may not have it all figured out, but I refuse to settle here. A mind that declares, if God gave me breath this morning, then he's not done with me yet. Because when your mind breaks free, everything else follows. You said expand 3 without subtitle and conclusion, ChatGPT said. Absolutely, here's an expanded version of point 3, delivered with that same fiery conviction and soul-stirring rhythm. Fear is a liar. It shows up dressed like wisdom, whispering and be careful, when what it really means is, stay small. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It creeps in quietly, disguising itself as logic, caution, or even humility. But fear isn't protecting you. It's paralyzing you. Doubt is a thief. It doesn't just steal your confidence. It robs you of moments you were meant to step into. Opportunities pass by not because they weren't yours, but because you hesitated too long. You talked yourself out of things you prayed for. You rehearsed every reason why it wouldn't work until you convinced yourself it was safer not to try. But hear this, your fear does not know your future. Your doubt doesn't understand your destiny. They're speaking from your past. They're echoing old pain, old failures, old rejection. And if you keep listening to them, you'll keep living in cycles you were meant to break. You weren't created to be driven by fear. You weren't designed to be held back by hesitation. You were made in the image of a creator who speaks life, not limits. That means boldness is in your DNA, courage is in your calling. The enemy knows he can't steal your purpose, so he tries to shrink your perspective. He knows if he can make you afraid of stepping out, you'll never find out what was waiting on the other side. But today, you've got to make a decision. Will you let fear lie to you again, or will you rise up in faith and call it what it is? A shadow, a smokescreen, a barrier with no real power, unless you give it permission. You don't need to wait to be ready. You're already equipped. Everything you need to overcome, to build, to rise, is already in you. The problem is not that you're missing something. It's that you've been doubting what's already there. You've been walking around like you're empty when God has already filled you. You've been acting like you're unqualified when every trial you've survived, every scar you carry, every prayer you've cried out has been preparing you for this moment. You've got power you haven't tapped into. You've got gifts you've been sitting on. You've got wisdom buried under layers of insecurity. But it's time to stir it up. It's time to stop asking for permission and start walking in authority. It's time to activate what's been dormant. See, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Purpose doesn't wait until the fear is gone. If you're waiting to feel bold, to feel strong, to feel enough, you'll miss the window. But when you step out in faith, that's when what's in you starts to rise. That's when grace meets you. That's when strength shows up in the stretch. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to believe that what's in you is greater than what's against you. You don't have to know every step. You just have to take the next one. The oil is already on your life. The anointing is already on your name. You don't need a title, a spotlight, or applause to walk in purpose. Oh. You just need to trust the treasure inside you. Because the one who put it there doesn't make mistakes. Comfort feels good, but it doesn't grow you. It keeps you safe, predictable, and stagnant. You were not created to sit in safety. You were created to stretch. And stretching hurts. Growth hurts. Fiddidites. But so does staying stuck in a place you've outgrown. The comfort zone is a silent killer. It doesn't attack you. It lulls you to sleep. It convinces you that a good enough is enough. That stability is the same as success. That just because it's familiar, it must be right. But deep down, you know when you're no longer challenged. You know when your spirit is restless. You feel the itch in your soul that says, oh, there's more than this. And that voice is not lying to you. That's your purpose speaking. That's your calling reminding you that growth isn't supposed to feel easy. That being stretched isn't a punishment. It's preparation. The tension you're feeling isn't breaking you, it's building you. Every level of your life will demand a different version of you. And you can't meet the next version of yourself if you keep clinging to the last one. You can't elevate while holding on to the habits, mindsets, and patterns that kept you comfortable. Growth happens in discomfort, when you say yes without all the answers. When you step out before everything makes sense. When you show up even though your knees are shaking and your heart is racing. That's where transformation begins. There is no breakthrough without a breaking. There is no rising without a stretching. If you want to break past your limits, you've got to understand, it will cost you. Growth always demands something from you. You can't step into purpose without leaving something behind. You can't walk into the new if you're still clinging to the old. Faith doesn't work without movement. Focus doesn't work without discipline. Sacrifice isn't optional. It's essential. You're going to have to let go of some distractions. You're going to have to tune out the noise. Not everyone can go with you. Not every habit can survive the journey. Some things were fine for where you were, but they can't live in where you're going. You'll have to say no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's eternal. You'll have to shut down comfort so you can open up capacity. There are moments where you'll be tempted to shrink, to settle, to turn around. But that's when you have to remember, the price you're paying is nothing compared to the purpose that's waiting. This isn't about talent. It's about tenacity. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to take the next step even when the path is unclear. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The willingness to endure the process. The willingness to stay focused when nobody claps. The willingness to sow in silence and trust that the harvest is coming. Purpose isn't cheap. It will cost you something. Every single time. It will cost your pride. It will cost your comfort. It will cost your excuses. But that's the price of becoming. That's the price of walking in something greater than yourself. You can't carry purpose and baggage at the same time. You can't walk in destiny and cling to distractions. There comes a point when you have to choose. Do you want to be liked or do you want to be impactful? Do you want to be impactful? Do you want convenience or do you want calling? You see, everyone wants the promise, but not everyone's willing to pay the price. Everyone loves the spotlight, but few are willing to survive the silence it takes to get there. Because purpose will put you in places where no one sees you. No one claps for you. No one checks in on you. And still, you have to show up. Still, you have to be faithful. Still, you have to believe. It'll cost you your time. It'll cost you your comfort zone. It might even cost you relationships that don't align with where you're headed. But hear this, it's not punishment, it's pruning. It's God cutting back what's unnecessary so you can grow into what's essential. Purpose demands obedience even when it's inconvenient. It asks you to say yes when everything in you wants to say no. It requires sacrifice not just once, but again and again. And that's how you know it's real, because it calls something greater out of you. You have to stop letting people who don't carry your vision control your voice. I shouldn't control your voice. Too many dreams have died under the weight of someone else's opinion. Too many callings have been silenced because they didn't sound like what others expected. But let me tell you this, your purpose was never a community vote. It's not up for debate. You cannot build your future with the bricks of other people's doubt. You cannot soar if you keep shrinking to make others comfortable. At some point, you have to stop explaining yourself to people who were never assigned to understand your mission. They didn't hear what you heard. They didn't see what you saw in that midnight prayer. They weren't there in the struggle, in the storm, in the silence. So, how can they speak on the calling? Stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting for confirmation from people who don't even have clarity in their own lives. Some will call you too much, too loud, too bold, but that's only because they were never built to carry what you're carrying. And let's be real, sometimes it's not just people. Sometimes it's your own thoughts, your inner critic, that voice that says you're not qualified, not ready, not enough. But that voice doesn't get the final say. Your past doesn't have the authority to cancel your potential. Your failures don't get to rewrite your future. You have to rise above it, push past it, speak louder than the noise, keep moving even when the crowd gets quiet, because the call in your life is bigger than their comfort. The dream in your heart is louder than their doubt. Struggle is not a sign that you're losing. It's proof that you're growing. The presence of pressure doesn't mean you're off track. It often means you're right where you need to be. Because strength isn't built in easy places. It's forged in the fire. It's shaped in the stretch. It's born in the battle. You can't discover your full strength until you've been tested. Until life throws things at you that should have broken you, but didn't. Until you're forced to stand when everything in you wants to. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, every time you stand up when you want to fall, these are the moments that are shaping you into the person you need to be to handle what's coming. The person you are becoming is not the same person who walked into this season. You are transforming plumbing. The character you're building now, the patience you're learning, the faith you're strengthening. These are the things that will carry you through the open doors ahead. You are in the process of becoming everything you were meant to be. And when you look back from the other side of this struggle, you'll realize that it wasn't the storm that defined you. It was how you stood through it. It wasn't the delay that defeated you. It was your refusal to give up. The path you're walking right now is not leading you in circles. It's leading you towards something greater than you can imagine. So when you feel like you're stuck, when you feel like nothing is moving, remember that this is a season of transformation. You're not buried. You're being planted. Once the roots have grown deep enough, once the foundation has been set, there's no limit to what you can grow into. The very things that seem to hold you down are what will give you the strength to rise higher than you ever thought possible. Your breakthrough is coming. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep believing. Keep planting the seeds, and soon you'll see the fruit of everything you've been through. So let me encourage you today. Don't give up. Don't stop pushing. What you're experiencing right now is not the end, but the making of you. We're in the process of becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more equipped for what God has in store. You are not stuck. You are being prepared. You are not buried. You are not buried. You are planted. And the harvest is coming. Stay faithful, stay focused, and trust the process. Your breakthrough is on the way. Your purpose is calling, and the best is yet to come.